How'd you feel it? How'd you feel it?
There's going to be a day, hopefully, when this podcast gets so big that we're going to look at the comments and there's going to be a lot of monkey trash. Like people talking monkey trash. Like just chirping or whatever. Look at how tired you look.
Okay, you guys are
Ready?
yeah, we're live.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, we're live. Here we go. Gotta put this up on Instagram. What's up, guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Resilience Fitness Podcast. We are underground.
Live in the basement.
We're underground at a new location, and got a new setup. How's it feel?
It's really cool, actually, because I can hear you in my ear. It's just like a different feel. It's very cool. I think it's going to help with conversation, maybe a little bit too. I don't know. We'll see. It's very new, but it's very cool.
Let me just put this link up. What do you like about the space down there, bro?
I don't know. It's just I think this is gonna help with conversation, and I think it's just like it's legit. It's official.
I like that. I like that. So it's kind of crazy. I can hear you and hear across the table.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So today, we got a really cool podcast because we're bringing on Coach Robbie, and we're about to call him in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about this. Patient told us that we can make phone calls, so we're gonna get a guest. Soon we'll have the third seat here, but right now we have the two seats, and we got a way to connect. So we're gonna call. Are we gonna call Robbie right now? Let's call Robbie right now. No.
Okay, well, let's just give out just a quick rundown of the podcast. We are gonna go on live with Coach Robbie. Really excited to ask him a few questions about just his journey and what he's got going on. Some really cool stuff. Very, very cool, unique thing he's got going on. And then talk a little bit about resilience. We're wrapping up the year this month. It's almost 2025. So we'll talk about just what's up the pipeline for the new year. Obviously, a really cool open house coming up with 2 locations. And just how we're going to run that.
It's exciting stuff. Let's get it. Let's call Robbie.
Okay,
let's do it. Patient, do you mind dialing that? I think he knows you're gonna call him. Let's hope this works.
You want me to call it?
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
I hope you can hear both of us. Did we test that? Oh, call ended.
Cool. I got the iPad here and
Try again.
watching live.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I can hear.
This is wild. Patient, well done. I hope I typed the wrong number in right for you.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may.
So we just got some technical difficulties.
Yeah. I hope I gave him the right number. I think I did, but yeah, let go on.
So why did you think of Robbie when it was time to bring on our next guest?
Oh, yeah. Robbie's been doing amazing, and he's just got a wealth of knowledge of fitness. He's very passionate about fitness in different areas, right? He comes from different backgrounds, and we'll let him talk about that. But yeah, just connecting with him about his. Yeah. Okay. We got Robbie on the line, but we're going to get him through. Yeah, just talking with him about his different history and how he started fitness, where that's led him to now, which is a little different. And here comes Robbie. Round 2.
Hey,
Robbie.
Coach Robbie on the line.
hey.
This is wild. Oh, it dropped. Why you keep dropping? Calling back. Third time's a charm.
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
What was that, patient? It's not staying connected. Should we call him on WhatsApp or that won't work?
Try one more time. Give it one more shot.
Maybe try WhatsApp. Would that work?
Yeah, so we're talking like about just Coach Robbie, and he's been doing amazing.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that I'm sure he's going to talk about is just his background in fitness, and it's pretty diverse because he
Let's see if this works.
got a really cool niche area.
Robbie, can you hear us?
WhatsApp is not good.
Robbie cannot hear us. Rob, oh, that's not a
WhatsApp
good
is not good. Just
connection.
direct phone call.
Okay, we're gonna try one more time. Let's hope this works, or else we'll be talking about Robbie the whole time before he picks up, huh? Okay. So yeah, we're gonna try to get him on the line. But yeah, we were his background's so interesting because he came from a kind of a similar style at the very beginning as me, as bodybuilding, and like just kind of like the bro splits and stuff like that, moving more into like function now. And then he's very catered towards also golf training, which takes a lot of like specific knowledge, right? So that's really cool. He's very it involves all different things with the golf, like so much different than bodybuilding, right? Like twisting and turning and stuff that you never think about when you're doing bodybuilding. It's all like straight plane pushing and all that stuff. So background very interesting, and just a really cool guy, and just getting a lot of great feedback about his classes, about his attention to detail. So that's been really cool. Yeah, we're seeing if he's connecting. I think patient's talking to him.
I think we're good to.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, there it is.
What's up, Robbie?
Can you hear us, Robbie?
Yeah, I can hear you good now.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
No, no problem.
couple minutes of technical difficulties, but we got Robbie on the line here. Robbie, just wanted to introduce you. So Robbie, got you here. We're on the podcast. This is new for us. We can both hear you. We wanted to just introduce you and get a little background, maybe just starting with your fitness background and how you got into fitness, and introducing yourself, and just talking a little bit about yourself and how how your passion for fitness started.
Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it. I've kind of been around fitness my entire life. I grew up doing different sports, martial arts from a very young age. So I've kind of always been like active. Um, Skateboarding was a big part of my life when I was younger. So always been like out doing activities and things like that. But I got into personal training a little bit before COVID in 2017.
Yeah.
But before that, I really got into it because of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I
started competing.
Yeah, I was just telling everyone about that before you got on the line. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about your bodybuilding? Because you got to like a pretty high level and you were very serious into it. So why don't you kind of touch like how that sparked your passion, and talk about your little like your brief stint in bodybuilding, and how kind of changed now and you're moving into a different area of fitness.
Yeah. So I had a really good friend of mine kind of introduced me into the world of bodybuilding. And as soon as I saw him starting to do it and just introduced me into that world, I got hooked on it and knew that it was something that could drive me like in the gym, but also like outside of it in a competitive way, just with myself and like proving to myself that I could like do something. So I got really obsessed with it really in probably 2014-ish.
Yeah.
And then started competing in 2015. Just doing like regional shows. It's all set up differently now. But I was doing regional shows at the time. And from there, you have to place like top five in order to move on. So I did a couple of those. Just fourth in the first one, which was like okay, but it was only like 7 or 8 people in the class. So it was like whatever, middle of the pack.
Yeah.
But to just give me that drive to really push myself, and then did another one of those, and then I ended up placing first, and then went to national, which was provincials at the time, and then actually won my weight class there again. And then from there, I could have done nationals. It moved up that way. Now it's a little bit different. Like I said, they have certain shows that you can win your card race from there. But yeah, like it really brought me into the world of fitness in a different way, in the sense of like learning form and mind muscle connection, and really diving deep into different muscles and how they work.
Yeah.
What like, kind of needs to happen in the sense of at the gym to build those muscles, and also at home with like diet, nutrition, and learning it from that perspective as well.
That's really cool, man. Bodybuilding is such a.
But yeah, from there, I didn't end up doing nationals. I kind of, after a couple of years of use, I just realized it wasn't necessarily, or I wanted to be involved with it more, just because I knew right from the beginning that you have to stay obsessed with it. You want to kind of move up to a full like pro level. And
Yeah.
I still want to have fun with friends.
It takes a
live
whole
like a
dedication.
kind of deal.
It's your whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you're hearing Andrew through the mic, but are you hearing Andrew when he's speaking?
Can you hear me, Robbie?
I don't think you can hear Andrew, so I'm gonna have to ask all the questions. And it's a little bit hard to hear you, but we're gonna rock with it. It's hard.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna roll
There we
with
go.
it.
Okay.
It's
Can you hear me now, Robbie?
Mm,
Okay, that's all right.
okay. So yeah, no, you were saying that it takes a lot. It takes a lot of, you have to be pretty much completely dedicated your whole life to it, but which is you really have to make that decision if you want to do that. What were some of the things you learned? You mentioned mind muscle connection, you mentioned nutrition. What kind of else did you take from that bodybuilding like period of your life? Oh, we lost him. Robbie?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way better.
That's
Okay,
way
Yeah,
better.
whoa, game changer.
We could barely hear you when you started. It was really hard to make you out, but now I think we're good, which will be good.
Okay.
There you go. Way
Oh,
better.
that's way better. Robbie, can you
Okay,
hear
now
me
we can
too?
have a legit convo here, boys. This is exciting.
I don't know if he can hear me still.
Can you hear Andrew?
I can now, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sweet.
Wicked.
What's up, Robbie?
Should we start from the top?
No, I could hear everything you were saying. It was awesome. We were talking a lot about bodybuilding. And one of the questions I had was, switching to just what you're really into right now with more functional training and even high rocks. I mean, it's more performance based, right? You're kind of working for a time, and it's really a real different world than bodybuilding.
Yeah.
How has that transition been for you? And have you, competed in sports like that before within fitness?
Yeah, like it's been a good fun transition, to be honest. I like being athletic now, just like having different focuses in the gym, like trying to get better at different areas opposed to like just grow my body.
Right.
Yeah.
But like being more athletic, more agile, but still like gaining strength and trying to look a certain way is like a lot more fun in my opinion.
Amazing. When did you make that transition? When did that start to change for you? When did you start to try to become a little bit more functional, more focused on performance?
Once I got out and just realized that I didn't necessarily want to live that super strict like lifestyle all the time, and I wanted to start doing things like sports and playing hockey again, playing golf again, just doing like that kind of stuff with my friends. So probably 2018ish or so, 2019.
Amazing.
And
I was gonna just touch because and then at that time you went to school, right? For why don't you talk a little bit about your education and then how you went to school for fitness?
Yeah, so I decided to go back to school in 2018. I had a painting business that I was doing that I learned from my dad and through him, and but then I decided to go back to school in 2018 because I wanted to make it legit. I had learned a lot through bodybuilding, but it was self-research, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make it legit. Went back to health and fitness at Bryan College.
Yeah.
That was it actually let me fast track program. It was a private college.
Yeah.
So I got to do that, and then got certified with NASM afterward, and then went into some golf specific training through a company called TPI, and then just let it roll from there. Snowball effect.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a good transition to kind of just talk about the really cool niche area that I know you're really focused on in certain ways, which is, fitness and golf. And I thought that was so cool when I first met you. I was like, wow, that's so interesting, because I know Tiger Woods, when he came on the scene, that kind of came into golf, right?
Yeah, he made a huge difference.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that coming into just the world, number one. And then number two, what's that like in Canada?
In Canada, it's a little more difficult because obviously you can't play golf all year round, but it's actually good in the sense that it's still so new to golf that a lot of guys are treating it like an off season. So gaining strength in the off season, and then I'm able to give them the ability and knowledge to maintain during the season, right? So it's been like a learning curve, but it's also new to the sport. So there's not really any room that it's all just trial and error for everything, right? So
right. Is it fair to say that 20 years ago, when people thought of golfers, that was like the last thing that they thought of? And then I remember, Tiger Woods comes on the scene and he's wearing Nike collarless shirts and he's kind of looking jacked.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is happening in golf? And now you get
for sure.
These teenagers, and they're in the gym pumping iron and they're playing golf, So
like the game of golf has just gotten like cooler, if you want to call it that.
Totally.
It's becoming less of that like rich person only sport kind of thing, and being looked at more like athletic and how you move your body, how you can recover, swing faster. But that's like any sport, right? It evolves over time, and guys get now way more money than ever. So they're treating it way more serious, treating their nutrition more serious, just growing as a sport.
If you could say maybe the most important thing about performance in golf when it comes to fitness, what is one kind of the main focus you would say for a golfer, to really focus on in their fitness?
It's very person to person, but a lot of it is to prevent injury, right? Like the average golfer day to day isn't swinging the club necessarily how we're technically supposed to. So they're way more prone to injury. So having just stronger joints and a body overall is going to help you prevent that injury.
Okay. And where is the power source in golf? I know, that torque turning and then that core strength, or is it?
Yeah, for sure. And then just the ability to be able to use the ground, right? To be able to push off the ground. Anyone that knows golf, if they look at, like, for example, like you said, Tiger's swing, or like Rory McIlroy's swing, or even Nelly Korda's swing, like they're all amazing at using the ground and generating force from the ground and through their lower body.
So to transition from the back foot to the front foot.
Yeah, you got to explain it to someone like me who doesn't understand. Andrew plays golf, and I think I get it. It's the twisting of the weight distribution. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, like there's different swing points, different swing positions, but being able to stay stable within those positions of the swing and like have the core strength to do it, but then also generate the power through your legs and create that force to swing the club faster, but then hit those certain swing positions like properly and maintain them and efficiently, then that's where you generate that power.
That's awesome.
It's cool. That's so cool to see golf evolve like that. And
just the amount of knowledge that you're getting and like applying it to golf, a specific thing, I imagine, but does that do you find that translate to training everyday people that maybe not be playing golf, but they're in the gym, they're just trying to get improve their overall fitness? Have you found that the knowledge has transferred over, and there's things that you learn from the golf training that you apply to everyday people?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like just obviously being around it more and more, but like more specifically zoning in and how to different cue points with different people that can transition. And it also goes both ways. Like, I find a lot of the time golfers that want to get fit for golf actually end up being more functional in real life, in day-to-day life, right? So
that's really cool. So is that something that you offer at Resilience for any Resilience clients that play golf?
Yes,
and are interested?
Absolutely. No, and just working with people day to day, like with functional fitness and or like the classes, has been awesome, right? Like learning everyone's different goals. That's part of the best part about fitness, is not every single person has the same thing.
Got to get the Remax boys in there. They're all playing four-way games. Get them in the first training. That's
just to backtrack back to what you said, something really interesting about bodybuilding and where you were at during that time, and you felt, I think you used the word strict, and it was, I guess you were sort of maybe not experiencing as much freedom as you are now with the functional training. Can you touch on that a little bit, or maybe elaborate if I'm getting that off there?
Yeah, no, like in the gym and more so outside of the gym, like going to, let's say, a dinner, watch the game with your buddies, and you're bringing containered food and everyone's there mucking a pizza. That kind of stuff is, you got, like, that's where it's more strict and more of like a full-time job kind of deal.
Right. So has there been, it sounds like that could potentially suck the joy out of actually being in the gym. Now that you're, training more like functionally and for high rocks and for a sport, and has it brought more fun into that process of being in the gym and training for something?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, I would say a little bit of an advantage, because I've spent those years like learning all the foods and everything that works for my body, like in order to produce, and learn so many things about different carbs and energy sources and fats and things that work with my body. So when it comes to like actually performing on like,
we lost them. That was a way better connection.
That was great. It's such interesting like diversity in his story.
Well, fitness is just so diverse now.
It's incredible.
It's like crazy. Yeah. Sorry, Robbie, we lost you. Are you back? Not hearing Robbie, but yeah, no, I can kind of hear him, but maybe try one more time. But yeah, no, the fitness used to be so not generic, but like it's just so evolving at all the times, or like every year is something new and something different, and there's so much to learn. There you are.
Okay.
Sorry, the call dropped, I guess. You guys were talking about,
you're just talking, but that knowledge that you did learn while you were doing the bodybuilding, and it's come with you now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you can apply it.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Why don't you, we have you for a few more minutes. I know you have to go soon. Why don't you touch up a little bit about your High Rocks journey and how that's going, and how that's what has that done for you in your fitness journey? Because I know you did the Toronto race with Shyla, with your girlfriend, and you're now training for Las Vegas. Correct?
Yeah. Well, High Rocks is brand new for so many people. It was brand new for us as well, but as soon as you guys like introduced it to us at Resilience, it was kind of something we both were like, we have that competitive background, and it was a way for this like new hybrid style of training that we enjoyed to go and be competitive with it again.
Is there something you particularly enjoy about it, or what what aspect of it have you been enjoying?
Yeah, I enjoy the fact that it's obviously physically demanding.
Yeah.
But it's also mentally demanding, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're signing up to do this sport, you're not done that race until you cross that finish line. So there's no one out there telling you to do it. Like there's no time clock like a normal, like other sports where like hockey game, like 60 minutes, you're done.
Yeah.
Bad game's a bad game, but bad race, you're out there for longer and you're battling that mental game too.
Amazing.
So that part of it, I just really enjoy.
How is that? How is that? How has that affected your training as you prepare for the race in Las Vegas?
In the classes and stuff, it's really like, all right, this sucks right now, but come race day, it's going to make it that much easier, right? Like we want to make that day easy. Put in the hard work now, make it suck now, and then the day of is not so bad.
One of the cool things about High Rocks that I like is in the training, there's really no, one way to do it. I think a lot of people are really trying to figure it out, and it's relatively new to the mainstream, fitness audience.
100%.
For you and your training, now that you've done one, what is the priority in your training for High Rocks?
For both, like you said, I did it with Shiloh. So for both of us, it's like more compromised running, right?
Okay.
So getting those legs tired and then still being able to perform at a steady pace, or a pace that's maintainable to keep a good time on the end score.
Nice.
But yeah, like Andrew touching on that you said that everyone can train differently and there's different philosophies. Like that's part of what I've enjoyed about coaching it too, right? It's very much like another sport where different coaches have different approaches, and you learn in different things from different coaches, or even just like going to different High Rocks classes or different High Rocks workouts, like at Resilience, where there is different coaches, you can pick up different things and learn different ways that what works better for you. And that's what I love about it too. Like it takes that approach of like a regular sport.
Like skills and learning skills and ways to shave off time and technique and all the intricacies of the race. Yeah.
Real quick.
Or even just when it comes to like strength training, right? Like everyone's individualized. So like they have weaker areas than others or stronger areas than others. So they have to focus in on things.
That's what I love about it too.
If you could prescribe someone a couple exercises for the sled pull, what would you say is the main thing to focus on?
My weakest area.
Sled pull?
Yes.
Definitely grip strength for holding on to that rope nice and then I would go with like a leg press or squats, like back squats, just because you want to build up that strength and being again able to push, like create force with the ground, right? So squats and leg press, you can both do that. And then a rowing exercise just to get that back nice and strong.
Yeah. I think a lot of people struggle with that one. That one can throw a lot of people off.
It's my worst one.
Yeah.
Cool,
a lot of it is like, I think, in my opinion, is obviously keeping a strong core and making everything nice and firm, but being able to use the ground and push the ground away to create that force to come back. And
right. Very cool. Oh, you know what's really cool is that Robbie is coaching his first High Rocks class with Resilience
in East York
on Sunday at East York. So it's not only your first High Rocks class with Resilience, but also your first class coaching at East York, which I'm excited for because I think a lot of the East York people are pretty excited to meet you, and I think it'll be really cool to have you there.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. The family of Resilience at Durham has been amazing. So I know East York is the OG. So meeting all those people will be a lot of fun. And don't worry for those Resilience games. I'm still on Team Durham.
That's awesome.
But no, I think it's going to be great. And I'm super excited to actually coach a High Rocks class and kind of give my input on it.
You don't want to miss a Robbie class. That's for sure.
No, it's been great. I know, like Josh said, you got to go, but just want to say it's been great having you part of the team. I know you brought a great jolt into the community, and so excited to see just how the future unfolds with you on the team. And yeah, we appreciate you, man, and you're a blessing to Resilience.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. Again, I'll say a million times over, the clients and members and everyone at Resilience is very open and welcoming, and it's been an awesome transition coming over to Resilience, and I'm
We just lost him.
Yeah.
But he was wrapping it up. I think, wow, it's cool. I'd like to almost do a part 2 with him because
We have to do a part 2.
there's
'cause
so much diversity in there,
yeah, we got you back. We just wanted to let you we'll say our goodbyes because I know you have to leave, but we didn't want to leave you with like a cutoff or whatever. But yeah, we definitely have to do a part 2 because there's some stuff we didn't even get into that I wanted to get into, but we'll leave it as a surprise. There's
absolutely
some things we're working on that we're excited about. So we have to have you on for a part 2. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but now we worked the kinks out.
That's it.
Yeah. Robbie, thank you so much for coming on. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being the first guest in the basement.
No problem. I'm honored. We'll work out those kinks and we'll do it again. Thanks very much.
Yes, we'll talk soon.
Awesome,
Take care,
buddy.
Robbie.
Thanks, man.
Woo, that was cool. That worked really well.
Yeah, the second time we connected, it was like, whoa, okay.
Now I don't hear you. Wait, say it.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Adam.
Yeah, no, just to follow up with him on a part 2, hopefully. I know I'd love to ask him more about nutrition.
Yeah.
And obviously he knows how to implement certain tweaks in a diet to really create a result aesthetically, right?
Yeah.
And I know that he's knowledgeable too about performance-wise and how to fuel your body for something like high rocks.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Again, we were talking about that on the last podcast, like for performance or for aesthetics. So that'll be cool to really get in there.
Yeah, anyone that has ever been very competitive at bodybuilding will know how to like shed the fat, like get melted off your body because you can't compete unless you're very lean and jacked. So
yeah, I'd love to know more about like that feel of like really cutting things out so you can shed fat. But like, what would that do if you had to perform in a sport or something? The difference there, right?
Yeah, different type of eating. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, we're probably on this last little bit of this episode. So, where do you want to go next, buddy?
Do you have anything on the agenda? Because I had something, but it'd probably take a little bit longer. But
you go ahead first, because I'll wrap up a couple announcements and stuff.
I think it's going to be too long. I wanted to go through the classes a little bit and discuss them, but like just so to educate people.
Yeah,
want to do that.
Yeah, let's do a few at least for sure.
Yeah, because like sometimes people, especially new people that are coming in, they say sometimes I'll ask questions, and I'm on the phone a lot talking to clients that are coming in or even existing clients and trying to kind of educate them about our classes and what they are and what the focus of the class is. So I thought it might be very beneficial to just go through each class and talk about it really quickly and what is it? What's the purpose of it? Why we do it? How does it differ?
Well, we can start with one of the two, either the strength classes or the conditioning classes. I think resilience really started more than anything with a very conditioning focused class. I mean, it was called group training for the first
boot camp
year
or something. Yeah, group training. Yeah.
No, it was never like a boot camp.
No, it was called group training.
Group training. It came from our background in football and basketball. I mean, that's what we brought to the gym. So let's go there. But before we do, I just want to say, since we're live, whoever's watching, you guys are welcome to throw a comment in there. If you guys have a question, we can definitely take that on because we can see them. So if you have a question, feel free to throw it in there.
I can't load the video because I think it's loading on mine, but you'll see the questions because I think it's loaded on you.
So yeah, let's go into the conditioning type of classes to just draw some more clarity.
So why don't you talk about the ever popular game day? So why don't you tell me what the game day is all about? What can someone expect when they come to game day, and how does it differ from other conditioning classes?
Yeah, I think someone can expect for sure with game day. It's probably the most comfortable and confident I am personally to create and program something because of the athletic diversity within the class.
Yeah.
Coming from that football background, the key was to be able to go at a fast pace and keep going and be able to move your body in all kinds of directions. Not only directionally, but can you jump? Can you get down low? Can you get back up? Can you lift? Can you jump high? Can you jump low? Can you jump laterally? Yeah. Can you generate power? Can you generate power over and over and over? and then do something that requires focus and coordination. So it sounds like a lot, which it is. But holistically together, that creates game day. You are playing a game that requires focus, attention. I always say in class, like, keep your head on a swivel, because that's just my football background talking.
Yeah.
So all the stations and all the workouts require you to use your body in incredibly different ways. So that's game day, just very lightly said. And then over time, it evolved into our endurance focus class.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it as 4 quarters. 4 quarters of football. One of the biggest things was to be able to last a whole game. So that became our endurance class, and that's what game day is. It's a mix of endurance, being able to last a long time, and then you combine it with athletic diversity.
That's a great way to put it. I was coaching it today. Me and Andrew sub today, so I was coaching game day in Durham today, and one of the clients, a new client, came to me and said, I never think of conditioning and fun in the same sentence.
Come on, that's beautiful.
But she's like, this is really fun, and I really like the conditioning, and so
I-
that's kind of like what you kind of hear from game day. It's very diverse, something you probably, not to boast, but probably wouldn't get at many other studios or gyms, just because of our space, and we can make it diverse and move around a little bit, or a lot of it.
Yeah, the space allows us to do that, and I love to hear that feedback, man, because that's the goal. It's like making our clients, giving them an opportunity to really have fun, but then do the hard thing, which is condition. No one likes to, just run on a treadmill, or
we always try to make the classes we talked about this today actually on the phone. What is it? No cap. What do they say? So I'm trying to be cool on the podcast, but no, we were talking about how the client should never feel like it's a chore to work out. And we try to always make it fun. How do we make it fun? Like, someone that's experienced working out as a pain in the butt, and they just hate they're dragging their feet to try to get there. We try to really try our best to do that. So when we accomplish that, it's mission accomplished.
So the formula of that, I think, is it needs to be very challenging. Okay. To make it fun, it has to be challenging. But with that, it comes, you could say, though, running for an hour is challenging, or just sprints is challenging. But how do you make it challenging and fun? The fun part comes from it being engaging. So the challenge is, this is hard as heck. I'm like panting for air. But the fun part is, I'm so engaged with what I'm doing right now because I know it requires focus. So when you combine the two, I think that's what gives people that experience.
That's the ticket.
Yeah, man. So
okay, why don't we talk about a couple more, and then how much time we got, patient?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, let's go. Let's flip the switch and go the other direction, which was rush. And I know that we call you the Rushman.
I don't know why, but
you call
the
yourself
Rushman.
that,
So rush is kind of the opposite of game day. So it's going to be many people have heard the term HIIT training. So high intensity interval training, short bursts of high intensity and short intervals of rest. So you're going to expect that every time you go to rush. You're never going to have long rounds. It's always going to be short burst of high energy, so high intensity. So if we're working on like the skier, we're working on the bike, we're running, we're doing everything in high intensity, and then getting short periods of rest. Some people really enjoy it just because of it. Some people I've heard, like, you don't really have to think. It's just like it can fly by. It seems like it flies by because it's just kind of get to the end of that 30-second round, 35-second round. Just got to focus in those small intervals of time.
Well said.
Yeah. So we try to make the same thing. Like even though it's 35 seconds, still try to make it diverse, and you're moving around a lot. Same type of things. Maybe not quite as athletic based, but still, you're gonna get your conditioning up, and your heart rate's gonna move.
It really goes by fast too. Whenever I coach rush, I remind people that, the first time through, you're kind of finding your bearings on the first few exercises because it's so fast. And a lot of new clients are like, what's going on? Like, they might have that reaction. And I'm like, this is the first set.
Yeah.
You just try to find it up. There's usually 2 or 3 rounds of a particular station or zone.
Yeah.
So by the second time, the third time, you're continuing to push the envelope. So it's okay for the first time on rush if you're kind of finding your bearings and you're like, oh, I'm trying to keep up here, and what's this again? It's okay. That's rush. It takes a couple sets to get it, and then when you get it, you push. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's been bread and butter since we started naming
Those
our
are
classes.
those are signature classes. Those are not going anywhere.
I think those are the only 2 that started, and we still have like they're the only 2 that when we started naming classes, those were the 2 that I think were from the beginning. Yeah,
those are still there. Yeah,
and they're never leaving,
which is cool. Yeah,
they're staples. They're staples. Okay, we can quickly talk maybe about a couple more, and then if we have time, we can talk about strength if you want. Let's talk about Survivor. Why are people so jacked to go to Survivor? What can you expect in Survivor?
Survivor. Wow. Survivors. It's got a big piece of my heart because it's been with us since
actually maybe from the beginning actually too.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. We started it as an hour and a half class, and we didn't know how it would go because we didn't know if people wanted that. We didn't know if 90 minutes. I wanted it because I knew we could do 90 minutes, and I didn't know how people would react to it. But it soon became a Saturday only thing.
Yeah.
Because we realized that people were starting to mark their calendars to come to that class. So what I realized over time was people want that absolute challenge for 90 minutes, but they don't want, but you can't oversaturate it because it's so demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires, like I said, 90 minutes of work. It's demanding for us too, as coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a lot to plan a 90-minute workout. But the beginning of it was basically how I programmed it was, pretty much a tough game day workout. And then we would add a 20-minute finisher, 30-minute finisher that was absolutely mentally engaging and challenging, and people had to commit.
Yeah.
So I soon became aware that people were a range of emotions going into Survivor. So some people were really nervous, but they still came because they started to enjoy, like I would get before a football game, which was good. I was like, this is good. That means you're really preparing yourself. You don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to be. So it really evolved to be this staple at Resilience because it had this effect of you're getting something out of the clients so unique once a week. You're getting this nervous feeling. They're prepping for like a game, and it would challenge them. So we just kept rolling with it, and it evolved to honestly like an event, not a workout. We run it at East York right now. Our classes open up almost a week before
6 days.
Yeah. So I know Survivor is pretty much full like the first day it opens, which is a great sign. It's really cool to have that demand, and it's a real grind, 90-minute grind.
So yeah, and sometimes you throw some strength in there to like, it's
Absolutely.
kind of it's like a truly high, I would say most hybrid class.
It was our first hybrid class ever.
Yeah.
It was the first hybrid class we ever ran with Survivor.
So you can sometimes expect to like maybe squat and do a lot of stuff like you would do in game day, but you're going to get that strength piece. And like Andrew said, there may be some crazy finisher at the end, run to.
Crazy, bro, you're talking about this because I specifically remember we had game day and rush, and we said to each other, there can be no barbells in these classes.
Yeah.
This was like 8 years, maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So when Survivor came on, this was before High Rocks. This was before Nick Barr and all these hybrid guys. We said we can bring in barbells. We can bring in big movements like squats, deadlifts, bench press into this seemingly conditioning class. That was hybrid before it was hybrid.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. We're talking about that.
So yeah, it's like I think our most hybrid class on the schedule, which is cool.
Yeah.
We got shred.
Yeah, let's talk about shred a little bit. Because I know this was something that you pretty much brought into Resilience and your focus on the need for core. talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I just think we're always trying, like when I'm thinking of when me and Andrew are creating our program, our classes, I'm always thinking, and I can speak for him too because I talk to him all the time. We're always trying to make it full body, get every part of your body. So I felt like the core was a little bit, not that we don't do it in any of the classes, we definitely do it, but like that was something that was a little bit missing in the programming where we really focus in on it. But it's not just a core class, so there's like lots of elements of conditioning in it as well. So I just felt a huge need for that. And I know the clients love it too. Or there's certain clients that really, really enjoy just smashing their core. And then you're going to get a mix of everything else too. Dumbbells, kettlebells, and different strength and like strength and conditioning circuits. No barbells, but you can always expect to smash that core. And yeah, I just felt like it was something that we needed to put on the schedule, and it's really a popular class, I think. So yeah,
really cool. Endurox.
Yeah, Endurox.
This is cool because it's new. Coach Lanny does such a great job of it. Like, he's awesome at it, and it has a real unique hold in the conditioning aspect because it's so different. Why is it different?
Yeah, so the more I've been getting into high rocks training and stuff and trying to improve my conditioning and learning about how to just improve your running, improve your overall conditioning. We've been talking a lot about zone 2 training, and that's where a little bit less intensity of training, not getting your heart rate crazy high, which is not common in a group training class, right? We're so used to boot camps that are like just smash you. Or that's like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's like smash you. And that's like how every boot camp is run. But this class is very much focused on longer bouts of endurance at a lower intensity, which is new. And it really helps you improve your overall cardiovascular, what you're capable of, how long you can go. So the goal is to try to elongate the amount of time you're doing conditioning at a very much lower intensity. And it's got a lot of good feedback.
Incredible benefits from it.
Yeah. So a lot of good feedback, and people are just like really have been enjoying it from the feedback I'm hearing, and hearing Lanny talk about it, how it's literally selling out. It's fully booked up every Thursday.
Yeah. And it goes back to also, we are so thankful that we have the space that we do. Both at East York and in Durham, we have this space that, when I look back on this journey of resilience, I'll look back as that being such a huge, huge blessing that we are in right now, because it's not a little small box. We have this space that
couldn't do it in
we're
the
so
box.
we're so thankful for the space where you can actually run around in the winter and feel free in there. It's big. It's 22,000 square feet. It's big, man. So you can get a lot of running in there and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, great class. Great way to train. Great way to train.
Future conditioning focuses. So we have that endurance class, which is game day. We have that hit class, which is rush, which together synergistically they really kind of hit two opposite ends. So it's great. And now the Endurox, it almost feels like it's complete, but I would say that right now where my head's at to give people, a little look into the future is a mix between a run club and a track session. So when the weather gets warmer, I really want to start programming and creating or bringing in a very specialized coach in running to have these sessions where both East York and Durham can go to a place and experience a track session. And I'm not talking about training as an Olympic athlete for a specific track event. I'm talking about running different distances at different intensities and building over a period of, say, 4 or 6 weeks.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the difference between a running and track?
Yeah, with running, it's different with a track workout, because track workouts are really focused on distances, times, and intensities.
Yeah.
and that can be so that can be so much better to program that on a track.
Yeah.
Because it's laid out for you. It's marked throughout the track. You'll see different markings, so you can really take a big group there.
Yeah.
And create these awesome track workouts that are massively beneficial.
Yeah.
Massively beneficial. I remember some of my football workouts, you know, when I was in my 20s, the most craziest workouts I remember were probably on tracks. And what that does for your speed, what that does for you with a group of 20 other dudes or ladies, and you guys are on a track together. You're running, okay, hey, we got 800. So a workout could look like this. All right, we got a 20-minute dynamic warm-up on the track, which is phenomenal. Okay, we're going into 5 800s. Repeated efforts at 90%.
90%.
Okay, say, for example, at 90% of your 800.
Oh, okay.
Then we take a 5-minute break, whatever. We water up, lots of hydration. Then we're running, say, 6 400s. Okay, you're maybe scaling down the intensity or increasing it. And then you would finish off with maybe 4 200s for speed. So you're working this longer distance, repeated efforts. You're building an engine in people, and then you're working 400s were just brutal event. That's tough.
Yeah.
High pace, speed, and then you bring it all in for a little bit of speed at the end with a 200.
What do you think that would do to people's fitness level?
If it's coached properly,
yeah,
and if the program is thought out with with professional intention and design, it will break limits.
In what kind of way?
It will take the people at Resilience that want to get faster at, say, High Rocks, for example, or become a better athlete, or, you know, even with weight loss, it's big because it forces your body to move like it was designed to. People are afraid of running, or not afraid, I shouldn't say that. People are resistant towards running because it's challenging. Why is it so challenging? Well, it's because it requires your whole body to move, your cardio, your focus. It requires you to look at your form and improve it. People's running form is massive. That's a huge thing. So I think it would break people's limits where they're at. Maybe people being stagnant with their work, with their results. I think it would bust through plateaus. That's how serious I think it is.
I've never even done a track workout.
Oh God, just wait, bro. Just wait.
Like, I've been on a track, obviously, but I've never consistently done like track workouts like that.
Yeah, and some people might be listening to this and have no interest, but trust me, when you come to a track and you're with 20 other people and it's being coached properly, that's a whole nother level, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'll be exciting.
No, just to wrap it up, conditioning classes. So if we had that, which is a future thought, you've got endurance, athletic endurance, which is what makes resilience so different. One of the factors. You've got HIIT classes. So you're talking about repeated efforts with a little bit of recovery, go, like a hockey shift. Then you're talking about that zone 2 training, which is so needed. And then you add in the fourth aspect, and I think the complete aspect, which is running and becoming a better runner, more efficient. Track workouts, run clubs. Now we're talking.
Let's go.
And we haven't been able to do that before just because of resources and coaching and just stuff like that. And I think if we can find the right spot and the right coach, whether it's me or another coach, then let's rock, man.
Let's go.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Things are changing, things are evolving. We're making mistakes, but we're trying to make it better and that's the passion, right? That's what we're trying to do. So
talk to me a little bit about mistakes.
Oh man, I mean, a lot of mistakes, make mistakes all the time, but sometimes communication, I think, with the clients and stuff like that, maybe we lack communication skills. I think we're in like, not to defend us, but we're in a season where so many different things, like, we took on this new location, we're doing things, and sometimes things slip through the cracks. So we're working on trying to establish things so things don't slip through the cracks. Trying to get help with, like, people helping us on some customer service stuff. So there's been mistakes, mainly I think communication and stuff. I think sometimes if we communicate better, it would be better received, and that's on us to just get better at that. So communication is a huge thing. That's the main thing I'm thinking about.
I mean, this podcast is definitely things about resilience and fitness, but it's always nice to talk personally.
Mm.
And I want to keep doing that because I think it's important too. It's the direction I want to go in with the podcast, and I know you too.
Yeah.
But how does that make you feel when you make a mistake, and how do you rebound from it? And what do you do with a mistake?
Yeah, that's why it's great to have a partner because, just talking through, what's going on. Constantly, me and Andrew are talking about, the pulse of resilience and how things are going. So obviously, anytime you make a mistake, initially you feel bad, and then you kind of try to defend yourself, and like you have some reason. But that's why it's great to have a partner to provide, we try to provide each other devil's advocates sometimes, and really try to look at it from a different perspective. So yeah, just trying to level up and get better. It always is hard when you make a mistake and admitting that, but that's growth.
Yeah,
No?
no, it is. I think about mistakes in life too. Like it happens, and we're both married, and just even in our relationships, like with our wives, just making mistakes and talking it through with our partner. We're both parents, we're both dads, man, and how many mistakes I honestly make with my kids. And you look back and you're like, oh man, I should have done that differently. But that's life. And I think there's two ways to go. There's either, I guess, defending yourself, and even in your own mind, well, this is why I did it.
Yeah.
Or there's humbling yourself and being willing to say, yeah, you know what? This wasn't the right decision. I got to really step back. And I think that's where our heart is. It's not always to do that. I'm talking about resilience now. It's not always easy to do that, but I know that rocking with you as a business partner, it's like, it's easy to work through mistakes with you because you're willing to humble yourself with me and say, oh man, okay, we got to really look at this. We made a mistake here. Let's change.
Yeah.
And I think just being willing to change is humility, right? So God, give us more humility. Help us to continue to be willing to want to change. And yeah, I need more grace for that, man. And just continue to, just continue to look at the big picture and keep doing that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm liking this setup, man. It's nice.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Thank you so much, Patient, for setting this up, man. This is awesome. How much time we got?
What's the time already?
Is there a limit on this?
No, it's okay. You can keep going.
I'm just getting warmed
You're
up here,
getting
bro.
warmed up? Okay.
I'm feeling. If we can go another 10 minutes, if you have 10 more minutes, Patient, is that cool? Awesome. We're gonna go with 10 more minutes.
Oh.
Okay. That's flip the switch, because if I keep going down that vein,
No, you can go. I don't mind. Go for it.
It's cool because
Bring it on.
Okay, so
I'm an open book.
Me too.
We're live, so
cool. Let's go. Let's roll with it. I don't know if there's an area to actually. I'm logged on right now. There's not an area to do a comment.
Is there any comment? Has there been a comment?
No, because there's not an option to.
It's the settings.
Okay,
oh, the settings.
So
okay.
Next podcast.
Okay. Wait, I have a text. Maybe that's a question.
Should we
I don't think so, though. We're not that popular. No, it's not. Carolina gave us props.
Awesome. Yeah, we're going down a vein. One of the things about doing this business is it's been an interesting journey in that we are also growing as men. And we started this when we were in our 20s and fresh out of university, and neither one of us were married. Different phase of life. Totally. And starting this and then being where we are today as men, and in our 30s, late 30s. That's crazy to say, but we've been trying to build this business and keep it going while we've been going through different phases.
Yeah.
And that's been crazy because you got to show up for class.
Yeah.
And you got to keep building the business as you're literally being built personally.
Going through so many different things, especially, actually at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably one of the things that stands out to me most, sitting at a table like this, talking to you away from the gym, which is why it's really cool to be down here in this basement, because I'm shut out from anything fitness. It's just me and you at a table. And that, bro, like if I was to reflect back at resilience, I would think about that so much, and it's crazy the different phases we've been through in life doing this.
Yeah, man. A lot of times I think about that because, we've been doing this almost 10 years now. And just so passionate about it. So many, it's been such a blessing, and it's been helping. I think for me, it's been helping me like with my life and maturing and stuff, growing. And just so many phases of like in your first year, your second year, being single, going out, getting up in the morning, coaching class, doing all this stuff, right? But it's been really fun, and I love it.
So if resilience was to crash tonight, and be taken away from us tonight, I would be thankful for what it's taught me.
What's some of the things it taught you?
A lot, man. It's taught me how to cooperate. It's taught me how to cooperate with a partner, with you. That's big, really. Maybe laying down your preferences sometimes when you want something to be a certain way, but you gotta be open to another perspective. And that's something that I'm still learning. But I think thankfully resilience has taught me a lot of how to do that, because I've been in positions with you where we got to really cooperate, and we have two different perspectives, and how do we come together and really sometimes lay down our preference and trust each other and move forward. And that's a big one. That's a big one. I'm used to being a quarterback and making decisions and leading, and kind of, this is where we're going. Let's go. And that doesn't work in a partnership all the time. So that's taught me same thing in marriage, man. So that's one lesson. I could go on and on about different ones.
There's a lot. I think for anyone that's like starting a business, is like it's really good for me, that jumping out of my comfort zone, this being like in first, second, third, fourth year, I would have never jumped on a live podcast and gone on a podcast. And entrepreneurship just forces you to jump out of your comfort zone, and you just become more comfortable doing that every day and trying new things that you probably wouldn't do, which is, I love that part of it. I used to probably hate that part of it, but I'm starting to like it more and more and more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd always like to touch a little bit on this stuff with in the podcast, 5-10 minutes.
I'm sure actually as we do this more, it's probably going to be more like that, I'm thinking.
Yeah, which I'd like to go down that vein too.
Yeah, we're just warming up.
Yeah, I think that's a great kind of point to wrap up. I know I got to be back in East York and like really soon. So really exciting stuff as the month ends. I mean, really as the year ends, it's our 9th year wrapping up. So it's our 10-year anniversary in February, which is cool. Why don't you tell them a little bit about what to expect at the end of the month?
So we're going to be doing, there's a couple things. We got a couple big workouts planned for East York and for Durham in early January, where we really want to just kick off and just have a really fun workout with DJ, and just get it popping and really get the energy up before we head into the new year. Everyone has New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, but that doesn't really matter. It's just setting up the year right and having like a big party and getting everyone excited and just try to reignite that flame of excitement to work out. We never want it to be a chore when you're working out. We want it to be fun. So, you know, hopefully if you're feeling a little bit like that, you know, that can change in the end of the year and approaching the new year here.
Awesome, man. Big shout out to Patient for really setting this amazing atmosphere up, which really has a cool feel. Actually, I like it a lot.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you, Patient, and thanks to Robbie.
We still have more things to set up.
Yeah, he said there's still more things to set up. So excited for that. And that big thanks to Robbie, Coach Robbie,
Yes, Robbie,
for coming on. Yeah, great stuff today.
More guests to come, more coaches to come. Sina, we'll get you on here eventually. He's been delaying it a little bit, but yeah, guys, it was a lot of fun and excited to continue in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
See ya. Have a good week.
See you guys.
What a sick setup, man. No?